Hey guys. Hey, it's me. I'm waiting for me to show up on my phone so I can make sure I see comments. Because, my computer doesn't always tell me I have comments. So I put the phone in front of me so I can actually see it. If you're here, please leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here. And I can make sure that I see it, acknowledge it. Ha, there I am.
Hey guys.
Let me turn the volume off. All the way. There we go. Now we've got my camera up. I've got my comments going. So, how is everybody today? It's a lovely rainy Saturday morning here in North Carolina. It's going to be rainy all day. All of that lovely weather that you folks down in Texas and Louisiana got yesterday. It's here. Thanks for sharing. So, anyway, I'm going to do a live today. What we're going to do is an alcohol technique. It's on vellum, and you use your alcohol Stampin' Blends. And it's the newest fad on the World Wide Web, and I had to try it. So, I'm not really sure how great it's going to look. What I was going for was just a watercolored background, so it looked kind of spooky and nightimey-ish. So, I thought this was a great technique to give me that nighttime look. So I'm going to flip you over so you can actually see the card I did, and then I'll show you how to get that background. It's really simple. You just need Stampin' Blends, regular old rubbing alcohol, which is this stuff, which is backwards here, but it's just regular old isopropyl alcohol. I'm sure you could probably use real vodka, but why would you do that to alcohol? Real alcohol that you could drink? I would rather drink that. But anyway, I digress, and here we go. I'm going to flip you over, and we'll get to it. And there we go. So, here's my workspace. What we're doing is, let's see, here's my card. This is the card I made. I have no sentiment. My idea of the sentiment is I'm just going to put a banner right here with whatever I decide to make it. It'll probably be thank you or happy birthday. Not sure. Hi, Brenda! Yay! You caught me live! Woohoo! So I'm not sure what sentiment I'm going to use for this, but I love this card. This is with the new Pale Papaya cardstock. I've embossed it and I've trimmed it, and I've got the Pale Papaya ribbon on here. And this is just gilded gems. And these are colored in with Stampin' Blends. And the background is what we're going to show you how to do today. So it's really not a hard card. It just looks really detailed. I thought this looked pretty darn cool. So I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to show you how to do this piece in the back. And I have everything cut out to make another one. We're going to do it a little differently as far as the colors. So if you see, I've got one sort of put together. This is just regular white cardstock. With a vellum on top. Now, I am putting it on top with just your regular tape runner. I don't see any problems. I don't see it through here. It doesn't show anything. But if you're worried about it showing, you're going to want to put it mainly behind the image that you put in front. So, I didn't find any different, and I think it looks good. It gives it that wrinkly, textured technique, and I think it looks fabulous. So, let's show you how to do that. I have just a piece of plain vellum here and a piece of plain cardstock. Now your vellum is going to wrinkle up a little bit, and that's okay. So we're going to, let me get my little pieces of dimensionals off of here and into the trash. So we're going to put this to the side. Now my vellum is 5.5 by 4 1/4. I'm going to cut this up. I'm not going to use the whole piece. So what I've got here is some blends. I'm just using blues. The darker the color that you have, the better the image will be as far as your blends looking. So I've done a couple others with this technique. Let's see, where did I put them? I'll show those to you. I know a few of you have seen them, but I haven't made them public yet. And of course I've put them up but I need to blog on them, so I didn't put them in my normal stack. And they're not right here, so I don't get to show you that fabulous card with all those colors behind it. I did send it to Brenda, so she's seen it. I just can't believe I don't have it right here. It's okay. It'll be alright. Yep, nope, we're just going to pass. Now, the one I did that I will post a picture of has got multiple colors in it. It's got dark greens, Bermuda Bays, some yellows. But I find the darker your color, the better it's going to look. So I've got Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, and I've got some Balmy Blue here. I'm going to use only the dark ones. So we're going to look here. Here's Dark Balmy Blue, Dark Night of Navy, and Dark Misty Moonlight. These are all of my lights. I could use this one and it would be fine, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use my darks. The darker the blend, the better. So we're going to start with some Misty Moonlight. I like the way this one looks the best. Hey, Renee! Use your painted section, your little painted tip, and you're literally going to just paint a spot. Now, you could do this many different ways. You could just paint a spot and then do your alcohol, which is what I'm going to do. Or you could paint a bunch of spots and then go back and do your alcohol all at one time. I like the control of having my alcohol. Now, I have just a water painter. This is from Alda New. I'm not filling it with anything, and it's empty. You could use any paintbrush that you have. And I am dipping it into my isopropyl alcohol, which I showed you. It's just plain old rubbing alcohol. I'm going to dip it in here. And literally, I'm going to have it full. And I'm just going to literally drop it onto here. You can put as much or as little as you like. We're going to put a decent sized drop. And I'm just going to let it sit there. And I want you to watch what happens with this. And I've moved my camera up a little bit so it's a little better for you to see. But you see it kind of beating up there, and as you move it, it pulls and it moves that ink around. See? So it's pulling and blending that ink, and we'll move it. So you could add more alcohol. You could not, and I gotta get it away from this little black Stampin' Up spot so you can see it. And the more you put in here, the more it runs. So you could actually do the whole sheet in your Stampin' Blend, and then it will run and pour, and you can do it just like a pour painting almost, but with alcohol. So we're going to do the rest of this, and I'm going to do mostly this color, the Midnight Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to do, you can even go into where you've got the alcohol, and it will pull it. You can go back over where you went and add more color. You can use... This is the Night of Navy, which is actually, believe it or not, it's got a purple hue to it. So I'm just kind of coloring all around. I don't want the whole page colored. And then I'm going to add some Balmy Blue. It's a little light, if you can see that. But what I find, that will make some of the colors a little lighter. So I'm going to go with this amount that I have. And I'm going to come back in here with this alcohol and just drip it into these spots. Now, your vellum will wrinkle. The way you can get the wrinkles out is to heat the back side of it after it's dry, and it will work and kind of bring it back to, it won't be perfect, but it'll bring it back to its normal size. Now, I've got lots of alcohol on here, so I'm going to be able to pick this up in a minute and move it around if I wanted to. I'm liking this bubbled effect. I love the bubbled little paintings that they've done with the pour paintings. If you've ever looked at that, I love that look. And I'm trying to get my grandkids to do some pour paintings, but you know, I can't do that because they're always in school or, you know, something's going on. But you see that that Night of Navy? It's got some purple in it, which is kind of cool. So, I mean, you could use a dark purple in this. I just want a nighttime color is what I'm looking for. So you're just going to play with this to get it however you want it. And it doesn't matter if your blend has dried up. And even if you have it to where it looks like it's just stripes. Once you place this on top of your Whisper White or your white cardstock, which is what I've done. See how it's curling on me? I'm just holding it down. This is the Dark Misty Moonlight, which is my favorite color to use this for. But see, that light blue in there kind of gives it a little lighter texture. And I'm kind of going all over because I want this to be a watercolory background for my flowers to make it kind of look like it's floating. And I'm going to put a little more of this Misty Moonlight blended in there, or the Balmy Blue. I'm just kind of going over some of those spots. And that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to come in here and just go to town on some alcohol. I know, that sounds horrible, but you know. If you're going to a scrap, that might be good on a break. So Renee, are you doing Scrap That this year? I think you said no to Lori. I don't know if Brenda's going. I miss Scrap That. I miss hanging with all my girls and all my like-minded friends. And we're just putting this, see how this is like right here? I love this little bubble look. It looks so cool. And I'm just going through here and I'm dropping it in. My little paintbrush here doesn't give me a lot on here. You could fill this with alcohol, do the same thing. No scraps. You doing any scraps over there in Lafayette, Renee? I know they've got the that one store. I don't even know if that store's still open. I think it closed. I don't remember. Rain. I miss scraps. I haven't found one around here. We have a big group of us that are demonstrators that get together quarterly, and I'm actually working on the quarterly meeting this year. So once the quarterly meeting's over in July, I will be posting some of those things on my website for you all to see. Can't post them before that because some of those girls follow me and, you know, can't show them what they're going to do. So I'm just adding these colors, making it, you know, alcohol everywhere. Not a drop to spare. And now that I've got it where I want it, and some of it's kind of drying up, but I like the look. I can bring these little drops of alcohol in, and I can ooze them around with my pen or my paintbrush. You can move, just basically it's painting with your blends. You color it in, you get your ink on the palette, and you just go to town however you want. I could imagine you could probably do this with your reinkers and paint with the alcohol. But I'm going to leave it like that because I kind of like that look. I don't want it to be too splotchy. So I'm going to let this dry. Woo! It's really wet, so I'm kind of move it around a little bit. And to make it dry faster, you can either use a heat gun or blow on it. If you see I'm blowing on it and I'm moving that alcohol around. But look at the Night of Navy in there. It gave that kind of a purple hue right there, which is actually really cool. So you could go back and you could put some of the Night of Navy in other places, and you would have that Night of Navy, or that, yeah, Night of Navy with that purple hue to it, which I think, that's Misty Moonlight. The Misty Moonlight just has a blue, and you see how it curled up? It's okay if it does that. We will fix it. I will show you how. I'm going to put some of this over here. I like that blended blue look with that purple in there. Put that in there. And let me find my cover. See, I curled up. Now, see the one I did earlier? It curled up horribly on me. And I'm going to come in here with this blue, and I'm just going to bring it in with that Night of Navy. So we've got a little purple around here. So there we go. Water doesn't work. It doesn't dry as fast. So this is almost dry, believe it or not. So I'm actually going to take my heat gun so I can show you how to fix it. Water would probably work, but it wouldn't dry quickly. And my heat gun is right here. I moved it so I could get to it quickly and still leave it plugged in because, you know, we're in this tiny area. And, well, you know. Okay, the heat gun's going to go on, so if it gets loud, I'm sorry. I apologize. If you notice, it's moving. The inks are moving. And it's also flattening out for me. Now we're all dried. It flattened out there really well. So it's got a little curve to it. But we're going to take this and just put this on top of here. And I know it looks kind of wonky because I didn't put a whole lot of alcohol on here. I wish I could find the other one that I did a bunch of different colors so you could see it. And then I'm going to put this down on here and then I'm going to cut it up like I did these. I just cut these in half of this. So this is 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2, 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. So you're just going to flip it over backwards. If you don't like the way this looks, and even though you've heated it, you can go back with more alcohol and spread out those ink colors. So I'm just using plain old tape runner. And I'm putting it as close to the edges as I can. And I have found that putting it on all the edges is good. Especially if you're going to cut your pieces apart. I mean, I would probably suggest you go ahead and cut it if you wanted to. And then glue it on separately. But it doesn't really matter. And then I'm just going to adhere this right on top of my white. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet to see if I can put this on the white first and then do the vellum and see if it will hold up better that way or not. So, I mean, that's a possibility. So, there you go. It looks pretty blotchy. It looks funny. Why don't we try a little alcohol on the vellum and see what happens? You know, I've already got one already made up. So, it's still working. I don't see it messing up my paper. But I don't like that I'm not getting enough alcohol on my paper. So we're going to let that dry up again. Ha! Since I just put more on it. I guess it's all about doing it right away. It's a kind of a new technique, but I think it looks wonderful. So I've got this one that I've done. So I would take this and cut this up. And I cut up a bunch of the hand pen petals that's coming. So once you put those on top, you wouldn't see as much. It would just be a pretty background. So I'm going to put that to the side. And we've got this one I've already done, and I've colored it. This is done with the Fresh Freesia, the Polished Pink, and the Pale Papaya. And then I've got Granny Apple Green as my blends here. And I've put it on top. And I'm going to do this one with the Misty Moonlight, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. It's your card front. I also have a piece of... Let me get this out of the way. This is 4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to take this, I'm going to emboss it, and then I'm going to trim the edges. And what I'm trimming it with is out of the new hand pen petals. It's in the new catalog. And I'm going to use this lovely little trim piece that they have in the die set. So I'm going to trim that up on my Big Shot, because I haven't bought the big new scanning cutter or whatever it is that they've got, because, you know, I just don't have that kind of money right now, and living in a tiny house, I don't need 4. Alright, so I'm going to put this down here, and I'll be just a second. I'm going to cut these out. Got to have my washi tape to keep it in place. Look at how detailed that is. It's got that pretty little edge right there, and then scalloped edging on that. I just think it looks fabulous. And then I'm going to trim the other side too. And don't forget, when you do these, you don't really want to go straight vertically in your big shot. You want to go off to the side to leave it kind of diagonal. That way it doesn't mess up the die and warp it. Alright, so we've got both of those cut on both sides now. Now I'm going to take, we have a couple of these. I actually wanted my other one that had just leaves coming from the top and from the bottom, but I don't know what I have done with it. I have it here. It's not in the folder it's supposed to be in, so, you know. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right in the center of my two little stitched lines. Right here. And I'm going to go emboss that. Move this out of the way. And remember, when you're doing embossing, you want to go with the rib side first before you make it go in. Because you'll break your embossing folder if you don't. It might not do it the first time you do it that way, but if you do it like that repeatedly, it will end up breaking. I have had that happen at Pelican Park before when I was doing classes down in New Orleans. And there it gave me this beautiful embossed piece of paper. So there you go. So now I've got that done, and I'm going to put this right on top. Move this out of the way. And then we're going to place it on here. Now what I like to do is put a ribbon, and I think I have the polished pink. Let's see. I do. I have the polished pink. So for my ribbon, I'm going to put these together. Then we'll put the ribbon on. Just use a little glue so I can make sure it stays down. So if you're here, please leave me a comment. And those who leave comments, I will send you one of these cards for you to get a good look at it. I will draw out of the list of people that have commented today, and someone will get one of them. I'm going to lay this right here in the middle. Just like that. And I love this. I love this scalloped edge. I really just think it's so cute. And it just looks so fabulous with this beautiful little trim on here. I mean, look at that. It's so cool. If we could put it this way, so that way our leaves are going up. Anyway. And now I'm going to put this down. I'm going to use dimensionals for this. Got some dimensionals from a paper pumpkin pack or kit that I had. Gotta get them used up. And yes, I am using the one that I did not create with you today. And that's okay. Just because I wanted that one to have time to dry completely before I cut it apart and did all that fun stuff with it. There we go. I love dimensionals, but you know, the little adhesive pieces, they're so clingy. They cling so well to the dimensional themselves, and then when you finally get them off, there's so much static electricity, they won't come off. So I'm going to place this right in the middle. Just like that. Now I'm going to take my ribbon. Now on this one, I threaded it through my flower, but I don't have that spot here, so we're just going to kind of go up underneath it and go around it, and then we'll tie a ribbon. So we're just going to cut some of this off. Let's go up around here. Let's see, where are my dimensionals at? Yeah, I won't be able to go there, so we'll just have to do like this. just like this. Then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to put some adhesive back here to keep them in place. And yes, I could be using the Stampin' Seal. That would probably be so much better for this part. But I don't have any of it left. This just did a really good number on ripping my paper. That was so sweet of it. So we'll put a little extra tape down. Peel that off because it'll be on the back. We won't be able to see it, so it'll be all right. I'm going to make sure that this is straight. There we go. Now I'm going to take another piece of this and I'm going to come back in here and tie a bow. Just going to put it over here to the side. And I always leave my ribbon on here. I could take it off and put it on the bow builder, but I'm just going to tie it right here. And then I'll trim it off the spool once I get it where I want it. That ought to be good. Now I'll get my pair of scissors. And trim this one so that it's at an angle. There we go. Thanks. It's a little upside down, but it works. I'm going to tuck it. Might even trim it up a little bit more. But there's our bow. And then we're just going to take this, and I have a regular card base right here, and fold it in half. It is 5.5 by 8.25, or 8.5, scored at 4.25. I'm just going to bone fold this a little bit. And then I'm going to put glue on this because, you know, I am never good about getting this on here perfectly. I don't know, Renee, I met you when we did that crop at your house. That was the very first time I'd ever been to a group of people cropping or doing any of this kind of stuff. And so I was so enamored and hooked at that point. I just couldn't get over it. And look how far I have come. I was looking at some of my first blog posts and was like, oh, wow. Wow. All right. And there's the card. So there you go. There's my 2 cards. So I'm going to draw a name out of the box or out of the list of comments. And someone's going to get one of these beautiful little cards. So y'all have a wonderful weekend. Let me flip you back over to me. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to try to do a couple of other recorded videos today, and I'm not going to be in town when the catalog goes live. I will actually be vacationing with my best friend in Texas. Yay! It's the first excursion I've had since COVID hit, and I have gotten my vaccine, so I should be good. If you have any questions about the catalog, don't have a problem calling me. I will answer you. I will be bringing my tablet with me, so if there's any computer questions or I need to place an order for somebody, I can do that. All my catalogs have been mailed out. If you don't get yours by the 4th, please let me know. I will have them shipped out to you as soon as I get back, which will be the following Monday. So, and I will try to put a priority to those. But anyway, y'all have a great day, and I will see you next Saturday since it seems to be my day. Y'all have a great day, and if you're in North Carolina, stay dry. Bye. Bye, y'all. Ah. You're welcome, Brenda.